7 people who will watch. Um, ugh. I'm not in my usual place where I do reviews for movies right now. Normally I'm in a car just because I've gotten out of the movie, or it's like the quietest place I can do it. Right now I don't feel like going to a car, and from what time it is right now, Loki will be premiering in about an hour. So I wanted to get a Conjuring 3 review out, hopefully, before it premiered. I believe I'll be able to do this very quickly. Simple to wrap up my mind around. I was supposed to review this last Saturday. I had work, hung out with friends, forgot to do it. Was going to do it Sunday. I had no time. I could have done it Monday. I don't know why I didn't do it yesterday. Today I had work, so I'm doing it late at night before I watch Loki. Then I'm going to review Loki tonight, and I'm going to do a special video in a way for that, where every week I'll review it, and then I'll edit it all together. And then the final week, when the final episode premieres, you'll get the review of all of the episodes. So for The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, I watched it with 2 friends on HBO Max, streamed it on Discord for them. We all watched it together, and I wanted to see it in a theater. Definitely wanted to, but it's okay that I didn't. I also watched it on my big TV, so I didn't just see it on a computer. So, watching it on like a 55-inch 4K TV does help. If you have HBO Max, which streams in 4K, definitely try and watch on a big TV if you're not able or confident enough, or afraid. Confident sounds wrong. If you're not willing to go to a theater for safety reasons, enjoy it at home. So The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, is the 3rd film of the main Conjuring franchise, like the main 3 films. I believe it's the 8th film, if you count all the spin-offs, which are the universe. So yes, this really is the 8th film, those being before it the Conjuring movies, the 2 of them, the 3 Annabelle movies, The Nun, and The Curse of La Llorona, which some people don't consider a movie, but they clearly connected into the first Annabelle, so it's somewhere within them. And this one's not directed by James Wan, which the reason I kind of love those first 2 films is they show great direction and characters, consistently building tension through those characters that you love, but also with the scares, and I think that is partly because of the direction of James Wan. This one here is directed by Michael Chaves, who did The Curse of La Llorona, which in my opinion was an average, very mediocre film, one that I personally don't like that much. I felt it picked up in the 3rd act, but even with that, it was just really stupid, hard to like the characters, and the story's just not as intriguing, and you can tell it was lower budget. There's a lot of scenes where I think, that looks really bad. But given a bigger budget, given the fact that this is with Ed and Lorraine Warren, characters we've grown to and you can work with, because you already have a story in mind, and I believe, if I'm not wrong, James Wan still produced it, meaning he did have something to do with it, and wrote the film, so he made the story out for the film. So he has a little bit of a path to work on. With La Llorona, I thought the direction was okay, and I definitely think here, Michael Chaves, I think that's how you say his name, has improved with The Conjuring 3. The direction here is better, it's more tight, it's a short film, it's only like an hour 45 minutes for the credits roll. I know La Llorona is like 95, but that one has a messy story, and it's not a Conjuring film. The Conjuring films kind of have to be longer for what story they tell. This is the shortest of the 3 main Conjuring films. I believe the first one is like the same runtime almost, but the credits are what do you call it? The credits are shorter. They're only like 4 minutes in that first one. The credits here start at the hour 45 minute mark, I believe, so there's like 7 minutes of credits. I guess I should get into what I think of the first 2 Conjuring films, the main ones, before I get into this. The first one, love it. I saw it in 2013. I was really young. I was like about 10 years old. I saw that at home. I thought it was good. I was getting into horror movies around 2012, 2013. So it was a good time to see one that people were calling like the scariest of the modern day. I did not think it was as scary as a kid. I thought 2 scenes were really scary. Not the entirety of the movie. I felt The Conjuring 2 improved on that in every way. I thought the scares were better. I thought it was more entertaining. They find a way to find humor in it. They have a lot more humor, and that makes the family that we follow, not the Warrens and Lorraine Warren, of course, again, always, anytime they're in it, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, brilliantly play these 2 characters. They're the reasons that you come back to watch these films. They are fucking great in this one. I think they improve in the second one, and the other families that are there. The first family, I believe their name is the Perrins, if I'm not wrong. They were an okay family, but the family in the second one, whose name I forget, but their story is more entertaining and they give more time to their characters. That movie's also like 2 hours and 15 minutes, so there's a lot more to do. But overall, I think you get the gist that that was a more developed movie and in a higher budget and improved on everything. So with The Conjuring 3, what is the story? Well, really, I can't really get into it without spoilers, and I don't want this one spoiled. I think everyone should have fun with these movies. It's a big universe film. If you've seen all the other ones, then you know how they connect all the films together eventually. Like Annabelle 1 connects to the 2. How do they connect it? You'll see. And they have a way of doing that here too. Kind of near the ending, they hint at something that this connects to, and it's very cool, and it makes me want to know where they go forward with Ed and Lorraine Warren, and where they go forward with some of the new creatures and demons and all that shit. You know, they make The Nun, the Annabelle, Crooked Man, all those spin-offs, yeah. So I want to know what they go with this one. I won't spoil it in case you want to know. But the basic story is, it is 1981, decently, I believe, like 4 or 5 years after the Enfield Poltergeist case, which is the one in England from The Conjuring 2. Here they are doing the Devil Made Me Do It case as the story. If you know what the Devil Made Me Do It case is, you're probably a paranormal fan. Kind of like me. This case is about a man named Arnie who basically murders a guy in the morning in cold blood in front of even 1 or 2 other people, and just sort of runs off in the middle and gets caught in the night. I believe it's caught in the night. In the movie, it's morning that he's caught, but he gets caught at nighttime after the murder of the guy's name, who I don't remember. Bruno? Maybe it's Bruno. Arnie ends up murdering him, and he has blood all over him and gets caught, but he goes to court and testifies that he wasn't the one in control, that the devil took over his body, and the devil was in control, in other words. So the story is the court case of The Devil Made Me Do It, but you're probably questioning, well, how do you do a court case? Where's the horror in a court case? Other than it would be like a Trial of Chicago 7 horror, and there's like metaphors for stuff about police brutality or something weird like that. What's the real horror? Of course, they can't follow this case. This isn't a family haunted house case like the other 2 movies or like even the Annabelle films. This is a story that they have to spread through a bunch of movies. And it's weird to see them build a mythology around it. Even with the first 2, I don't 100% believe in all the shit that happens in the movies. They're obviously boosted up by money, visual effects, crazy stuff that probably didn't happen then, just for entertainment of the theater and the audience and the people to get more scared, be like, why the fuck did that dog turn into a giant ass creature who's gonna kill me? This movie makes its own mythology to the story, so the separation here is Ed and Lorraine Warren are on the court case trying to help defend them and convince that there is evidence to be found that he is innocent and he murdered this guy in cold blood, not himself, but the devil inside of him. Something made him do it that wasn't himself. So we're mostly away from the case for about 80% of the movie. Ed and Lorraine Warren kind of go off on an adventure, travel. It's hard to word without getting into spoilers. Yeah, they basically just travel to a bunch of different locations, and this makes them solve a mystery that I will not spoil, but I'll admit the worst part of this movie is that concept, that they're building their own mythology, and I thought I would be into it, but there's so many things here that are just so cheesy. And I know the other ones are cheesy, but there's like a really good thing with the scares. The scares here, while pretty good intention, and there are some really intense scenes, 2 in particular, one at a morgue and one in a tunnel, with Lorraine in a tunnel and stuff starts going crazy. Those 2 scenes I thought were fantastic. And the opening scene. The opening scene is absolutely terrifying. It's fucking crazy what happens. I did not expect it. But as the movie goes on, that mythology is just kind of broken down into this really basic and cheeseball story with the Warrens. The reason that the story works isn't the story. The reason the story works is because of Ed and Lorraine Warren. These characters are fucking great. I don't know about the real life people. They remind me of Dan Aykroyd, where I'm like, they sometimes look cool, but other times they sound fucking insane. The people in the movie, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, who play Ed and Lorraine Warren, I love them. The second movie, the first movie made me like them. The second movie made me love them. Have like an emotional connection to the two characters. And here they continue that. They have the great romantic moments, the great back and forth, bitty, like, little bitterness to each other where they're always like very sarcastic with each other. Like the fun love thing that the characters go through when they're doing demonic shit. And in the beginning of the movie, this isn't really a big spoiler, but Ed starts to suffer a heart attack. So through the whole movie, he's consistently trying to avoid having heart attacks, but scary shit is happening. They have to run a lot. There's a lot of intense stuff they have to deal with. So that's consistently tension on him. And I think the morgue scene and the tunnel scene are best developing on that. I think those are the two scenes where something more crazy as shit happens. And it's great because it doesn't also do that. It also puts effect that these demons who took over Arnie can take over him or control him with the heart attack or just in general. And that kind of puts a separation in a few scenes. I wish they explored it more. There's a great scene at the Warrens' house near the very end, starting of the third act, that divides Ed and Lorraine, and it's fucking awesome. I wish they did more with that. But the movie goes by quick, because I think if you're in a theater or you're at home, they just want to have a fun time and get the fuck done with it. Overall, the scares are solid, but not consistent. The mythology is really stupid, and it doesn't fully add up. The story's weak, but what works does work. The scares that do work really work, and Lorraine Warren are great. The performances from everyone else, great. They all did great. Jillian Hilliard, who plays the young kid in the opening scene, and he's out throughout the movie a few other times. He was in WandaVision and The Haunting of Hill House, if you've seen it. He's great as the young kid David in this movie, so give him props. The soundtrack is good. The direction from Michael Chaves has improved over La Llorona, and overall I think it's just a fun watch. It's not necessarily the greatest film. I've seen it twice, and even if I could, I could go to theaters and watch it. It's still out. I could go see it in a big theater. I don't have the interest for it. If The Conjuring 2 had come out and I saw it twice at home, I would definitely want to see it in theaters. This one is a step down from the first two Conjuring movies. I would say for me, it's definitely above The Nun. I fucking hate The Nun. Most people do. It's above Annabelle. It's above Annabelle 3 Comes Home, which I thought was fun. It's definitely above La Llorona, so, I think it's better than all the spin-offs, in my opinion, but I don't think it's as high up as those top two Conjuring movies that James Wan made. But I do think this is a good follow-up and proves that this universe can still go, it still has energy. People still probably want to see it. It made only like 24 million in theaters. That's enough for what it had with its time, because it's also on HBO Max. Quiet Place 2 just kicked ass last week. Maybe people just saw Quiet Place 2 and they're like, I don't want to see this. I'll watch this one at home. So we'll see how the results do once HBO Max releases their numbers at home. I say numbers because they can lie if they wanted to. That's how streaming services work. You don't have to give actual results. So sorry that I look uncomfortable. I'm in such a tight space in my room that I'm just trying to fit on camera. Overall, if you're a fan of the Conjuring universe already, why not? Watch it. Take your time. It's an hour and 45 minutes. You can watch it at home. If you got friends, you can go pay to see in theaters. Wait till Tuesday. Maybe go on a matinee. It's summertime. You can pay $5 to go watch it. It's definitely worth anywhere you go. If you can see it at a theater and for your first time, I recommend it. Even though I just said I watched it at home twice and I don't have interest to go to a theater for it because a lot of other movies are coming out soon. It works either way. It's a fun watch. I give that first Conjuring an 8. I thought it was great. I thought 2 improved it. I gave that a 9. I really think The Conjuring 2 is one of my favorite mainstream modern horror films in the recent years, This one, I like it more than all the other ones, and I've always given Annabelle 1, not Annabelle 1, I hate Annabelle 1. Annabelle Creation, the improved one by David F. Sandberg, I gave that a 6. And I gave Annabelle Comes Home a 6. So I'd probably have to give this one a slight improvement and give it a 6.5 out of 10. Ooh. So, with that out of the way, I was going to do a review for Bo Burnham's Inside. That's the other thing I've seen. It's so good, but if I'm going to do a review of it, I want to do like an analysis video where it's not just me on a camera reviewing a movie. That's for new releases and re-releases that I want to review on here. So I'll save that for later. And just let you know what's coming up this week. Peter Rabbit 2, Meet the Blacks 2. I forgot the subtitle already, so I'm just going to call it Meet the Blacks 2. Which, why did it get a sequel this many years later, even though it made barely any money, but at the same time the budget was so cheap? Why not make a sequel? It's like the Haunted House movies. What are they called? A Haunted House 2 with Marlon Wayans, except cheaper and shittier somehow than those. So Peter Rabbit 2, Meet the Blacks 2, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. I feel like Infinite with Mark Wahlberg coming out of home. So those 4 movies I'll make sure to get a review for this week. Not joined by Gabriel or anybody this week. They're all busy. So, and I know Gabriel has no interest in these movies. When Gabriel has interest in a movie, he will be there. It will not be like every other week anymore. He'll be there whenever it's one he's interested in. My best guess to say when you'll see me doing a group review with more people would be definitely The Forever Purge. I know Gabriel will be there. And I'm going to go with a bunch of friends, hopefully, for Black Widow opening night. So, you'll see them in a few weeks, because those are July 2nd, July 9th. As for me, I'll just be doing the single movies. I don't think anyone gives a shit about Meet the Blacks 2 and Peter Rabbit 2. But if you do, great for you. I can review it. And I'm looking forward to Peter Rabbit 2 a little bit. Slightly. I liked the first one. It was pretty fun. So, yeah. The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. 6.5 out of 10. Bye.
Lorraine! You alright?